We are now moving to a very interesting topic. Is it going to be important from exam point of view? Definitely. Would you ever get a chance to do it in your college? No. Are you ever going to do it in your clinic? Well, not again. But this is one of those topics of dental material that has been asked in NEET multiple number of times, has been asked in examinations as a short answer and a long answer, and hence it makes it really important for you to learn. Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Riddhi Lalan, author of Dental Material Mind Map book and your mentor for dental material. So today we are going to learn about, any guesses? Yes, it's direct filling gold. Although we do not use it so much, rather I would say we don't use it at all, there is one thing that you need to consider, and that's it's very important to understand the basic properties of direct filling gold in order to attempt your NEET examination and your university examinations. So let's just quickly see. So this entire direct filling goal has been divided into three parts. In part 1, we are going to learn about the basics of direct filling goal along with its classification. Part 2 will be manipulation and part 3 will be degassing or annealing. It's a very important step when you have to use your direct filling goal, and you'll learn why. To begin with, first let's just understand simply what is meant by direct filling gold. So in dentistry, when I talk about gold, it's only material that's used in its purest form. What is meant by this is that any other material, may it be amalgam, composite, silver, cast alloy, everything is going to be merged with other components. But gold is only used as its pure 100% form without adding anything else. So when we denote gold, we use this SI unit as carat, and it's from 1 to 24, 24 being the highest percentage. So when I say that I use 24 karat gold, it means that it's 100% pure without addition of any other metal into it. You might have heard your mom talking about jewelry multiple number of times. 20 karat, 22 karat, 18 karat. What does it mean? So if 24 resembles 100%, 20 would resemble how many? It's very important because this has been asked previously in NEET examination, and the definition is very easy. All you need to do is 20 into 100 upon 24. So this will be, which is nothing but 83.33%. So this is dividing your entire 100% gold into 24 equal parts to give carat. Now, why do I not use 24 karat gold in jewelry? Has it ever occurred to you? Because gold is very soft. 24 karat gold, if used in jewelry, will bend. So that is the reason you need to add certain base metal alloys in order to increase the rigidity and toughness. Moving to the manufacturing route, it's simply divided into three types: beating, plating, and atomization. Beating is nothing but malleability. What is that property? Malleability is nothing but the ability of the material to be drawn into sheets. So if you also have sweet tooth like me and are a big fan of Kaju Katli, you will appreciate how silver foil is placed over it, right? That's nothing but thin sheets. Now gold is also available in thin sheets, but one thing is that we don't tell it's in gram or milligram. Here we use a term called grain. So light, and it's either 4 grain or 3 grain that's used most commonly. Now what I want you to understand is this is how I get foils or sheets, but the other forms like matte gold and electro alloy and the sponge gold is available due to electrolytic precipitation. So now what happens? Gold will be deposited from the solution onto the cathode. Remember how we used to transfer molecule from anode to cathode? The same thing happens here. And chemical precipitation or atomization is nothing but your molten gold being sprayed. So how is it going to be formed? It's going to be granulated. Now, goldent is one of the example wherein your pure form of gold is embedded within the wax, and this is nothing but your atomized or granulated gold. Phillips' newer editions say that there's a new terminology that you need to use. It's no more powdered gold. That's the older terminology. The newer means granulated gold. So make sure you keep this in mind. If attempting Viva, don't use the term powdered gold. You should use the term granulated gold. How exactly is it available? When a 24 karat gold ingot is placed and beaten into sheets, it's going to form something like a square, available in 4 by 4 inches, and it's so thin that you can almost see. So it's translucent, and as we discussed, the grain size is 3 and 4. The other forms that are available can be sheets, ropes, cylinders. We'll be talking about this when we talk about the classification in detail. Cohesive and non-cohesive. So now if I have to classify based on cohesiveness, I'll be using these two types of gold. Again, we are going to discuss about this in detail when we talk about the mind map. And the electrolyte precipitate. It's basically these three types. Matte gold is something that's used to fill the bulk of it because it's going to compose of stripe, cakes, cylinders, ropes, everything. Foil, because of its thin nature, will be used as adaptable veneering. So I will just use it to layer it out. Let's just quickly look into the mind map now. So the first thing I said we'll be talking about based on the cohesiveness. Now, cohesive gold foil require annealing. Annealing is something that's also known as degassing. I have made a separate in-depth video about it, how exactly the annealing process is done, why do you need to do annealing. But to just make you understand, you need to remove all the surface contaminants. Now the gold foil is pure, 24 karat, but there can be surface contaminants that need to be just heated and removed. So this will help in a property that's known as cold welding. What is cold welding? Cold welding is nothing but using pressure to unite the molecules within themselves. So that's the simple thing. It does not require heat. There will be no temperature being incorporated here to melt. It's just basic pure pressure that's going to join all of them together. So this is used for fine detailed restoration and margins. But if you have to fill the bulk, what would you do? You would use non-cohesive gold foil. Now this will have a protective covering. What are these protective covering for? They will prevent premature cohesion. It shouldn't happen that they were placed someplace in the container and then they just start cohesing with each other. So there's going to be prevention of all of these because of a protective layering. And how can I remove this? Simply anneal. I can just heat it and it'll be good to go. This will be used for my bulk filling and the base layer. So if I have a cavity, I know it's going to happen in increments. So my bulk will be formed by non-cohesive and the upper layer will be formed by the cohesive ones. So this is how you can classify based on the cohesiveness. Based on the composition, now it can either be pure gold foil that we have actually been seeing, so we can use it for fine restoration. But I told you it's going to be softer. So you do need something that's called electroalloy or alloyed gold foil. What is it going to be doing? It's just going to be enhanced with trace elements like calcium. So what will happen? The mechanical property will increase. It's going to increase its tensile strength, yield strength, compressive strength, shear stress. All of this will be enhanced and it will be able to withstand pressure. Other two types of foil that we have here include laminated and platinized. Now laminated is just adding layer by layer. More the number of layer, more will be the strength. Simple. And platinized gold foil will have platinum within. Why do I need to add platinum? If you said that it was to prevent corrosion, you're completely wrong. Gold is a noble metal. It does not corrode on its own, but platinum has imparted strength and resistance to it. So these two properties are enhanced on adding platinum. So that's the reason that I would use this. Based upon the forms. So sheets are very common. We use number 3 and 4. You need to keep this in mind because it's important. Ropes can also be available wherein they are very easy to place, compacted and good to go. Cylinders are available in preformed shapes. Again, they can act as a bulk filling material. Matte foil, on the other hand, can be used for deeper restorations, but it's going to be soft and porous. So what do? I use it as my veneering cohesive material. So this was the basic of how I can classify my direct filling gold. So whenever you're supposed to write your answer, let's say a short note is expected onto this, you begin with writing about the introduction, wherein you mention about the basic, what is a grain, what is meant by carat, how is it available, how can it be manufactured, and multiple forms. Then you move on to the classification, then you go on to the manipulation, advantages and disadvantages of using it, and finally conclude with explaining what's degassing. So let's quickly see how exactly do we have goldent. That was your atomization of gold. So goldent is nothing but an encapsulated form. So what happens, as I just mentioned, it will have gold core and the binder here is going to be wax. So it can easily be removed by annealing. Once you have annealed it, then you can just cold weld it. Under pressure, they will just form a bond and be done. We discussed how powdered gold is now renamed to granulated gold in the new edition of Philips. So you need to remember this as well. Annealing, binge watch the entire playlist if you are very curious to know what exactly is meant by annealing. And let's just quickly go to the flashcard. The flashcard here says, what is cohesive gold? So I know that cohesive gold is nothing but the one that's formed by annealing and can be cold welded. It does not need any temperature, can form bond under pressure. This is nothing but my cohesive gold. A clinician uses thin sheet. So I know thin sheet is matte foil. For restoration that can be compacted directly. This form is gold foil. Because powdered or granulated is not into thin sheets, matte gold can be confusing, but remember that matte gold is your bulk filling material and not your matte foil. So there's a difference between matte foil and matte gold. Matte gold are the bulk filling ones. The cylinder, ropes, the preformed shapes, all of these are matte gold. Cast gold is the casting that we do for the framework by your lost wax technique. So here the correct answer is option A, that is your gold foil. I hope you had fun learning this and keep watching the entire video in part 2 and part 3 to learn direct filling gold in detail. And if you are NEET aspirant and are excited to appear for NEET this year, don't forget to enroll into our NEET batches. I'll make sure you learn appropriately, in depth and NEET related topics. I'll see you in the next video.